Hello, my name is Will from Team Fire, and today we will be talking about Ericsson. I'd like to start off with giving the presentation an agenda. We'll talk about company history, then move on to a strategic analysis. I will also be giving my team's proposal for the company, and we will conclude the presentation at the end. Let's start with company history. Ericsson is a world-renowned communication company. They actually started just repairing telegraph machines, telephones. Then they realized that there was so many possibilities to have behind telephones in that industry. So Ericsson started developing his own. Ericsson today is striving to make the world connected. They want to have 5G globally for mobile communication. They also provide all the means necessary to make the Internet of Things happen. Some of their main functions focus on connectivity services, applications, and system integration services. Ericsson's company strategy is to use all of their resources to provide solutions regarding 5G and the Internet of Things. They want to roll out 4G everywhere, as well as save cost on strategy with their companies that they are dealing with today. They also are operating on a margin that is falling, and they're trying to reduce operating expenses by a couple $1 billion. From the naked eye, it seems like they're going with a strategy of cost reduction. One of Ericsson's past projects that is most impressive is the fact that they strive for connectivity. They actually helped out 450 different villages in the Amazon have a way to reach doctors. Before then, it would take 2 to 3 days without the connectivity that they gave to the village. So we want to keep with the theme of connectivity in our proposal. Next, we are going to be going over a strategic analysis of Ericsson. We are going to be doing this by analyzing them through Porter's 5 forces, the first of which is rivalry. Second, we're going to be going over the barriers to enter. Third, we're going to be going over buyers, then suppliers, and then we will end off with the threat of substitute goods. Let's start with competition. Competition are the companies that mainly go against Ericsson within their industry. Alcatel-Lucent, Nokia, Huawei Technologies, ZET, and Casio Systems are the main competitors of Ericsson. Next, we are going to be talking about the threat of new entrants. The threat of new entrants for Ericsson are very low. This is because there's a very high capital investment that is required. There's advanced technologies that are required. There's a very high learning curve, and there's established industry leaders within this market right now. Due to this, it will be very hard for a new company to enter the market and take away any market share from Ericsson or any of its top competitors. Next, let's talk about the buyers. Buyers are very interesting within this market. The global market for mobile subscriptions itself is growing by 4% every year. India is the fastest growing with 43 million subscriptions added in the first quarter of 2017. Sales have rose by 1% in Southeast Asia, Oceania, and India in the first quarter, even though overall revenues for the company have been dropping. China, Indonesia, Pakistan, Nigeria also added millions of new subscriptions. Next, we'll move on to suppliers. Suppliers have a very interesting role within this market. Any company that supplies raw materials or communication equipment to the industry is considered a supplier. Suppliers are able to affect the profitability of the companies by controlling the margins. They do this by either raising the price of their raw materials or lowering the price. If they raise the price, what happens is the margins of communication become smaller. If they lower the price, it becomes more profitable. Next, we're going to be talking about the threat of substitutes. For Ericsson, the threat of substitutes is a very difficult topic. Communication is the cornerstone of a society. People need to communicate. And the fact of the matter is the communication that Ericsson brings forward is the most efficient, is the fastest. They're able to connect people immediately over the internet or a phone call or even a text message. There's many ways to communicate through Ericsson's technology. And other ways that people can communicate are through face-to-face interaction or even handwritten communication. Finally, I'd like to talk about our proposal. Our proposal is something that you've never heard of before. It is very unique. It is the next frontier of communication. We would like to call it the Hub. The Hub is a virtual reality world where you'll be able to interact with anyone from the comfort of your own home. The Hub is a platform of communication that will change the way people interact with each other and media on an insane level. Yes, I know, this seems like some type of sci-fi fantasy, but it is truly possible. And if we do succeed, this will change communication and media altogether. Well, there's certain steps that we can take to create a place like this. Our group have came up with an idea that we create a agenda planning app that allows you to see the flow of traffic from place to place so that you can get the most optimal route for your day-to-day activity. Through this, the app will be collecting data from people's agendas, what they do when they're not on the internet. This data can be used to create a hub. It will give us the necessary tools to know what users want. Where do users want to go if they're in virtual reality? Why not a reality that emulates the real world and helps them and guides them in the real world? This is a great thing to do because it will engage people in a way that they have never been engaged before. It's new advertising means, it's new communication means, it's new technology that will change everything. Now let's go over some benefits of the hub. It will create a new means of communication. It builds upon an Internet of Things and creates a new world out of it. It will grant people access to the new frontier of interacting with data. And it is on the cutting edge of technology within the industry. This will position Ericsson at the top of their industry to crush the competition. As I said before, we want to keep the theme of connectivity. This is the ultimate form of connectivity because we are able to connect people within the comfort of their own homes. There is a whole new world open to them and they don't even have to lift a finger. The fact of the matter is that we are trying to differentiate from our competition. We are trying to find the next new thing, and this is it. And then once we create it, we will be number one. Now, I would finally like to conclude the presentation. I'd like to talk about the vision of the company. A connected society where every person and every industry is empowered to reach their full potential. Reaching full potential means making progress in everyday life of billions of people, millions of businesses, and development towards a more inclusive, equitable, and sustainable society. At Ericsson, they embrace the future development and have set out their mission to lead transformation through mobility, where Ericsson, as a leading innovator, drives transformation of industries and communities towards a sustainable, networked society. They are now committed to extend their leadership to this bigger mission of transformation towards the networked society. Our plan will be the basis of this. Our plan will create a networked society that has been more connected than ever. The ways that we plan to impact Ericsson are by empowering people through technology, transforming industries to deliver more value, and advance society to sustainable development. We can do this by creating the hub.